Hello everyone, it's Andrea and welcome to another Plan With Me. It's funny how fast time flies the older you get. This month actually took quite a bit of planning. I spent a lot of my time designing these stickers. They turned out amazing, don't get me wrong, but they just take so long to create and get the size just right. But that's also the beauty about making your own. You can size them to just what you need. And ever since I got my Cricut, I've been seeing endless possibilities to do just about anything. I was a little angry at my camera for losing the footage of last month's stickers, so I made sure to have extra this month. Before I even began writing in my journal, I put together all my stickers. I designed these matching ones so the background would show through and the lettering would give it an extra little pop of bling. I used some tweezers to carefully pull off the sticker. Then I carefully placed it on the background. All that's left is to transfer all those little parts. I did use my Cricut to cut out all my stickers, but you can use any stickers you like from the store. Since my sparkly sticker paper sheets came from the dollar store, they are not very strong and I can't use them to cut out the tiny intricate lettering. But the black chalkboard sticker paper, also from the dollar store, is quite a bit stronger and worked perfectly for cutting out all the days of the week. I actually found the Cricut didn't cut through the end all the way, so I used some scissors to trim it down. I guess it can't be perfect all the time. I repeated this with all the stickers. This took a while as well, pre-creating these stickers. So did I save time by making my own stickers? Probably not. I finished the rest of these stickers off camera. They are just beautiful and super sparkly. I really love how they turned out. I'm going to be using this metallic gel pen to match my teal theme this month. I wrote May at the top and 2019 at the bottom. I went over each line to make it a bit thicker. I'm using my finest point fine liner and drawing a tiny line drop shadow around all the letters. I really wanted to incorporate the watercolors again, and I know my book doesn't have very thick pages and can't handle large amounts of water, but I wasn't going to wet down the whole page, so I figured I'd be fine. I started by giving the silhouette of my mermaid a bit of color. This color actually has more of a gray undertone, but my one camera was picking it up as more of a blue. I wanted the shape of the mermaid to be the window into the ocean scene. I added a jellyfish, which was super fun, some fish, seaweed, coral, and rocks. I only used 6 colors for this entire painting. This might just be because those are the only colors I have, but I have to say that I never knew you could make so many shades with just a few colors. I also had to be careful not to smudge any of the wet paint. That's probably why this month's setup took so long to film, all the waiting for things to dry. I went over most things a few times to give it some dimension. I especially love how the jellyfish turned out. After everything was dry, I erased all my pencil marks. For my calendar, I began by drawing out all my squares. Each square is 6 squares by 6 squares for anyone following along. I love how symmetrical this month was for me. It was 2 boxes short on both sides, which means it was the same right side up as it is upside down. Yeah, my brain works in strange ways. I've been told this many times. I wrote May and all the days of the week on top of all the rows of boxes. I wrote my to-do on a black background to see if it would stand out more, which it did. Then I gave all my letters that tiny line drop shadow. I wrote in the days of the month with my metallic pen. Next, I watercolored in my accents for the page. If I keep them small, the page shouldn't warp too much. This kind of art always relaxes me. How about you? What do you do to relax? This next page is new. I'm calling it my Post-it Central. Most times I'm at work when I have an idea for something. I write a lot of stuff on sticky notes and blank paper. This way I can stick them to this page, and then when I have time, transfer them to whatever page they belong on. Sometimes it's an idea for a new project, or just a theme idea. Sometimes I write down a song I need to look up. This page will keep my stack of messy scrap notes all together. For my habit and mood trackers, I wanted to track them in a more shiny way. I created this tail and have 31 scale-shaped cutouts for the moods. I used a few pieces of washi tape to hold it straight. I transferred it to the page by folding back the top part and matching it up to the sketch underneath. Then I carefully peeled the backing off while smoothing the sticker down. Then I have all the matching scale shapes in all the different glitter stickers. I wrote super tiny in that extra line under the scale shape for all my moods. Then I stuck each color of scale in each space. I also numbered all the days of the month in that same empty line for the rest of the scales. I wrote habit at the top and stuck down all my tiny calendar stickers. These were so cool, especially since they were super tiny. And each box is actually the size of each box in my book. Then I wrote all my habits in different metallic pens under each one. The blue one was giving me some trouble, and since I didn't have a green one, I used the black fineliner instead. I also have matching squares for each habit calendar. All that was left was to fill in the days of the month. And when I do a habit, I fill it in with a sparkly square. Then I watercolored again. I love how the fish look like sideways hearts. What's the most elaborate mood tracker you've ever created? Is it better to have a fancy mood tracker or a plain one? What would you rather see? Or are some of these fancy ones not even achievable? Sometimes I feel the pressure to create something better than the last time is so great that the next month seems to get harder and harder to create new and different things. I know that a lot of people like to make their journals pretty, me included, but I feel like sometimes it takes away from the journal's initial purpose. To organize your day, keep track of things to do, and maybe write down what you did and how you felt that day. I may need to take a step back and make things simpler. What do you think? The next two pages are mostly empty as usual. I wrote brain dump on the first page and Polaroid on the second. Gave all the words that tiny drop shadow and added a few watercolor elements to the brain dump page. Next is my weekly spread. I added the dates to the top. I decided to use the Dutch door for this week because I knew it was going to be a busy one and I wanted a bit extra space to fill in each day. I also added a tiny calendar and dotted the current week. I used to use this way back before I started filming my bullet journals, and I don't actually know why I stopped. I added my cool new stickers and wrote meals in the space at the bottom. Then I continued marking out all my boxes on the next page. After I added more stickers, I cut the page one box above the line. I know, it's a little strange to actually cut into your book, but trust me, this turned out so good and I'm so glad that I did it. I rounded the corner to match the book. Then I carefully used my Exacto knife to separate the top part of the page from the book. I think I may need a new sharper blade. And it is quite nerve-wracking cutting into your book, but I'm really glad that I did it because it turned out really good. Then I marked out the last 4 days of the week. That top section will be the water tracker. Each ocean element has 8 sections for the cups of water, so I will watercolor in those sections. I wrote meals on the bottom of every day box and added my days of the week stickers. I'm so in love with these. I love how this Dutch door page turned out. I definitely see these a lot in my future, especially for busy weeks. I also gave myself a doodle section, something I haven't added in a while. I hope you've enjoyed this month's mermaid theme, and I hope I may have inspired some of you to go out of your comfort zone and try something new. If you try any of the spreads I have created, please tag me on Instagram at Amazing-Andrea1, that's with underscores. I would love to see your recreations. If you don't want to miss next month's setup, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.